everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am back today with an actual sit down talking video, which I have missed doing, and I have a topic that I really want to share. First of all, I want to say I feel like I say this in the beginning of all of my videos, but I'm really overwhelmed and so grateful for the amount of support I've had on this channel. My subscribers have gone up quite a bit since we last spoke, and I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and I'm pleased that this content is resonating with you and helping you all so much. So today I just wanted to talk about how to not lose your style as a minimalist or with someone who has a smaller wardrobe and is slightly more intentional with what they buy, because I have been going through this personally in the past few months. My style is really starting to change. I reached like 25 and I feel like between 25 and 30 you sort of move more into, I don't know, your adult wardrobe and like style choices. So I just remember pulling out my winter wardrobe thinking, I can't wear any of this anymore, it's not me, it's not my style anymore. And I feel like so much has changed in my life as well over the past few months that my priorities with what I wear has changed as well along with that. I have a few points to share for some of you that might be overwhelmed with your wardrobe right now, or you're feeling like your style has changed and you don't know what to do, or maybe you're just unhappy with the clothes you're wearing. And I can't stress enough, like, just being a minimalist or being more intentional with the things you buy, it doesn't mean that you have to not enjoy fashion anymore. Growing up, I was always into fashion. Like, I was a very creative person, so dressing myself was a way that I could really express that part of me. And I remember when I first found minimalism, and I'm sure a lot of you may have had this experience, I just thought, oh my god, I can't believe that I was so into fashion. It's completely vain, it's totally unnecessary, and like not great for, you know, your mental health and all of that. And the truth is, I feel like that is not true, and I feel like that in minimalism culture, this idea is sort of like forced on us to think this, and I don't think it's true at all. And I think a lot of us find a lot of joy in dressing ourselves as, and I'm totally for that, as long as it's in like a sustainable, intentional way. So just wanted to put that out there first, but I do have a few points to share to help you if you're going through this transition right now. So number one is narrow down your style into 3 main categories or words to describe your style, and build your wardrobe on that. So these words might change, and that's completely fine, because at least then you have like a starting point and you know sort of where you're going and how to create a more practical wardrobe for you and something that you're happy with. My words are, I would say, quite relaxed, practical, but also quite like bohemian as well. So I feel like I have 2 sides to my wardrobe. One is like the practical side. I work from home, so I need a lot of comfy clothing, a lot of like leggings. I like going out for walks, so I have a lot of like waterproofs and like warm clothing. But then when I sort of want to express the side of me that's more creative, and I go out for meetings with friends or go to an event, I want to look a little bit more bohemian and like a little bit more colour in the palette, and also like some different cuts and styles. So I tend to stick with those 3 words, and it saves me falling into this sort of cycle of like panic buying or buying too much, or, you know, unsustainably buying clothes, because I feel like when we feel unhappy with ourselves, it's so easy to go and get that quick dopamine fix of buying something new, and it might not actually be what you need. So it's a very complex situation in the human brain. It's what we tend to do, and then we normally regret our choices once we've done it. So by sticking with these 3 words, I can ask myself these questions: does it fit into these categories? Will I wear it from home? Will I wear it out when I go for a walk? Will I like to wear this piece of clothing to dress up for an event? And if it doesn't fit in those 3 categories, then I move on, and I recognise that it's not actually very practical for me to buy this item going forward. And usually most of us don't have more than 3 words to describe their style. We all feel comfortable in different clothing pieces and like different shapes and sizes, so I do feel like the 3 words is the best way to keep it down and to still keep your wardrobe intentional and small and simple. Number 2 is remember that minimalism looks different for everyone, and I have talked about this a lot on some of my previous videos, but I feel like we are, well, in the minimalism sort of communities, we are like bombarded with what a minimalist wardrobe should look like, and this could be like very basic, very aesthetically pleasing, and it makes us think maybe that's what we should have, because that's how other people are doing it and that's how other people are succeeding at this and like feeling really satisfied with their wardrobe. It's really not the case, and I really can't stress this enough, because it's so unsustainable going into minimalism trying to be like someone else. There are so many factors that come into having a smaller wardrobe. You know, it's where you live, it's your hobbies, it's maybe your job, and like also your personal style. So the more we try and fit into these boxes, the more we're going to actually not want to do minimalism anymore, because it's making us unhappy, and carry on buying the way we were before. You may not have like a typically aesthetically pleasing clean wardrobe, but you can still be a minimalist, you can still be intentional with what you buy, and you can still really love and wear all your clothes. It's really not about the way things look from the outside, it's what you enjoy wearing, and I think that all comes from inside, and it's something that you really need to think about and work out. But yeah, try not to follow these sort of images that you see on Pinterest or, you know, social media, because it's really not the way for everyone, and that is completely fine. It doesn't mean you're doing things wrong. Number 3 is have regular wardrobe audits and clear outs. And this is so important, because if you're looking at your wardrobe and you're sort of like in this state of overwhelm where you're like, I hate all my clothes, I don't like anything in my wardrobe, I don't wear it anymore, nothing goes together, it could just be because you have too much in there that you don't like, that you can't actually see the pieces that you do like. And I think it's so important to regularly go through your clothes and try things on as well. Take a bit of time out, don't do it quickly, and actually try on all the different items together and make different outfits and experiment when you're not in a rush, because then you can actually see what goes together and what you do want to keep. I think there's so many problems with this, because we can easily do this quickly and throw things away quickly, or declutter quickly, but then often we regret our choices. So definitely take some time, have an afternoon just by yourself, put some music on. It can be overwhelming at the start, but it's so rewarding once you've actually had that clear out and you can see what's in your wardrobe. It makes your life so much more stress-free, and you sort of know where to go next in terms of building on what you already have. Along with this, I tend to do sort of clear outs every season, because that's when I bring out my seasonal wardrobe. So if you can, alternate between the seasonal clothing that you have and put away any clothing that's not in the current season that you're in, because if you're looking at a wardrobe with loads of jumpers in and it's summer, you're going to feel like you don't have any clothes and it's going to be too much. And I think it's so important to do that sort of switching around if you can, if you have the storage. But also when you're doing this is to try everything on before you put it back in your wardrobe, because that's a really simple, easy way to keep on top of decluttering. Because a lot of times we'll put something away, we come back the next season, it's basically been a year, your style may have changed, the item may not fit anymore, and like there's so many different aspects to it. It's important to try things on as well, and also see if you can have any transitional items in there. So I keep a lot of t-shirts out and sometimes some vests out, because you can layer things up and like use those items to transition as well. When you are decluttering, do remember to do this sustainably. So I like to separate piles into things that I can sell, which is usually most of my clothing. So you can download secondhand apps like Depop or Vinted, or even Facebook Marketplace, some things. I know a lot of people do that nowadays. So see if you can sell anything on to another person so it can have another life. I then see if my family and friends want anything, because I have quite a few people in my family that like the things that I wear, and sometimes they no longer serve me but they serve someone else, and that's really lovely to pass on that item. So see if you can do that, or alternatively give it to a charity shop, and hopefully they'll sell it on there, and obviously it's great for the charities to have nice clothing to sell. They also accept things like rags. If you didn't know, they can actually exchange these for more money. So if you have any rags, make sure you also pass them on to the charity shop rather than just throwing them away in the bin, and try and keep up with that circular economy. Number 4 is try and find your favourite brands, because I know I have now, definitely as I've grown up, found some brands that I really love the clothing. I know it suits my body, I know it suits my style, so I know anything that I get from those brands is going to easily slip in well with my wardrobe, and I'm not going to have any issues with it or regret my purchases. Try and keep these brands sustainable, but also there is the alternative to search on secondhand apps, any particular brands that you like that maybe aren't so sustainable, but you can get the things secondhand. I know like Free People is a brand I absolutely love. I love their clothing, I love the style overall, but I will never buy directly from them, so I try and find those sort of things secondhand through things like Depop or Vinted, or sometimes like eBay do secondhand things as well. And also it's at a discounted price, so it's so much better for your bank account as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope it's helped some of you out who are sort of in the in-between stage of maybe changing their style. It's totally normal. Like, don't feel like you're doing minimalism wrong if your style has changed. Like, it's inevitable. We are all growing humans. You know, our styles change, our minds change, our thoughts change, our body shapes change, so don't beat yourself up for it. We can't stay with the same wardrobe forever, and that's completely fine. But I hope these tips helped you, and thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see some more of me, and I'll catch up with you guys soon. It's kind of strange.